Hello. Hi, Zayla. I see you. Hi, Soul Searching. Ooh, Soul Searching. No, one of my Elephant Tribe stages is called the Soul Searcher, but I'll tell you more later. Okay, so I see a couple of hearts, so I take it that Gyokli says yes, please. So I take it that you want the slides. All right, cool. Let me see. I can send it over on the with a replay tonight. Okay, many things to send over on the replay email. So do check the replay email when you get it. Maybe about 12ish. I don't know, depending on whether things go well. Okay, hi. Okay, Ken. I see a heart. Okay, let's start then. Okay, let me just pull up my pictures. Pictures pretending to be slides. Okay, cool. I see your thumbs up, Jazzing, Xmas gals, and okay. So today is the third and final session, and I'm talking about the most important linchpin of it all. Okay, and that's you, the parent. Okay, just let me get through this admin part really quickly. If you haven't joined the contest, there's still time. I actually wanted to announce tonight the winner tonight. Then I realized it doesn't make sense because I know I give you guys homework, I know I give you guys replay, but I need to give you time as well to watch the replays and then do the homework, okay, or the application answer the application questions. So I've extended the deadline to Saturday night. Okay, so I'll announce the winner on Saturday night, and if you can share a screenshot or share this picture, okay, which can be found in my feed, just share on your stories or your feed and tell us how you're liking the seminar. And then you get a chance. Okay, share it and then you must tag me at Elephant Box so I'll know. Okay, then I will either give you a heart or I'll share your stories on my stories as well. Then you know I've acknowledged your entry into the contest. Okay, and then you can you know you've entered the contest. Okay, so you get bonus entries if you do your assignment, okay, and then you can just take a picture and then share it on your stories as well and then tag me. Okay, so I'll know. All right, so as usual, Q&A at the end of the session. I don't have many Q&As today, so if you have any questions, yesterday I didn't get to answer some of your questions. I'm so sorry. So if you're here today, pop them into the comment box. I'll get to them at the end. Hopefully my handphone doesn't act up again. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so on Monday we talked about the child, okay, and a pre-normalized child who has not been working in a prepared environment under the loving and watchful eye of a mentor or coach can be in a pre-normalized state, and that is, I guess, that's all the negative characteristics that we sometimes don't want to see in our kids. Okay, things like lazy, not curious, don't want to finish his work, don't want to do his work, okay, argumentative, bored, passive, unmotivated. You know, you get the drift, all the negative stuff. But when this same child is placed in an environment that encourages work and he builds his confidence in it, okay, he's able to he's able to focus more, and then he finishes his task more excellently. This happens, I think some of you have sent me a question, right? That you ask me, how come my child can concentrate or do okay in a preschool? The teachers tell me he concentrates well, but at home he doesn't do his work. So this could be a reason why. Nothing wrong with the child, maybe nothing wrong with you as well, but perhaps it's your environment. In a preschool, it's very easy to set up this environment. That's the job of the teacher, right? And besides, there's always the peer pressure that everybody is doing work, everybody is listening or concentrating on something. So therefore, your child is also I guess socialized into the normal norms and behaviors of the preschool class. But at home, it's a more relaxed environment, and obviously you don't run your house like a preschool, which is a good thing actually. And so your child tends to relax a bit more and does not associate home with work. So if you want to change that, and I think we all should, because at some point our kids do have to do work at home, especially when they go on to primary school and all that. So we want to set this prepared environment also in the home. A more relaxed one, not like in a school, not like in a Montessori school. I don't want you all to turn your homes into a Montessori school, okay? But maybe set up a corner or two or a room where your child knows that that's where he or she can concentrate, he or she can do work, or he or she can do exercise their creative juices to create something, or to build something, or to play with something for extended periods of time. Okay? Alright, so in order for the environment to work, what is the crucial linchpin? It's you, the parent. And this is the trickiest and most difficult to change, because I guess we're all adults, we are all pretty set in our ways, okay? But that's the truth of the matter, is that parents really, you guys, or you ladies, I think most of you are ladies, and for the dads among us as well, you parents play a really important role in affecting or in influencing your child. Okay, so I promised you small changes, big results, right? So don't worry, for this seminar, I won't ask you to make any changes that are too painful. And so what I will share with you today, okay, will be for your consideration, and if it applies to you, and if you think it's doable, then take action and do it, okay? Because really, if you want to talk about changes for the child, or changes on the environment, or changes for yourself, the biggest results will come when you change yourself. So yesterday I spoke about the prepared environment, and I spoke more on the physical environment and the mental environment. I talked about the books and activities and all that, so that's the mental environment. Today I want to talk about the emotional environment. Okay, so you, the parent, together with your spouse and all the adults in the household, set the emotional tone of the home. So the first thing you have to do is to consider the stresses your child face at home. What are the sources of stress? When does it occur? And then how to minimize it. Okay, there was a study done, and these researchers they attach electrodes into their onto the brains or the heads of sleeping infants, okay, and so they studied their brainwave pattern. So at the same time, they asked the moms of these babies to do a self-report, okay, and they basically asked the moms how often and how often do you quarrel with your spouse in front of the infant, and to what intensity. Okay, so basically what they realized, what the results came back, right, and the researchers realized that if the parents did not quarrel much in the presence of the babies. Oh, sorry, I missed out one important part of the study. So they attached the electrodes to the baby's brains, and then they played sounds of angry adults, voices of angry adults speaking nonsense words. So the babies didn't understand the words because they were nonsense words, but just based on the angry tone, or the shouting, or the stern, or the fierce voices, okay, then they recorded the baby's brainwaves. So the results came back, and the babies with parents which quarreled a lot in front of them, okay, had had the brain waves, the flare-ups in the region of emotional regulation, stress, and the amygdala. So basically the babies were under stress when they heard the angry voices, whereas the babies without their parents quarreling so much in front of them, okay, their brainwave patterns were pretty normal, and they weren't so affected. So what does this study tell us? This study tells us that right from birth, if the infant's environment is stable, loving, and calm, parent and child are securely attached, right? These actually help. These tell the brain that these help the brain develop a protective buffer against stressful situations. On the other hand, if the baby is often exposed to a lot of stress, a lot of chronic stresses, a lot of emotional outbursts in the environment, then the stress hormones flood the baby's brain and trains the brain to react more frequently in a fight or flight response. And that is chronic stress, right? That means the baby is always reacting. Either he's passively cowering, or he's just fighting, or being triggered or raging. So that's basically the two responses that for a baby who is under chronic stress. And And I realized that this is what really happens when I was teaching in a heartland school, where a lot of my students were they're secondary school kids, so there's the teenage angst as well. Okay, and the secondary school kids, a lot of them came from single parent families, or they were living with their grandparents. Their parents were not around, or they moved from aunt to uncle's place or step parents' place and all that. And so they came to school. They were angry. They were distracted. They couldn't focus. They definitely were not in a mode to learn, and they cannot function properly in building healthy relationships and friendships. So that was the state my students were in, and I didn't realize it then, but it all kind of makes sense now that is this home environment that affects them through life. Okay, so I know this is a sensitive topic, and I know some of you maybe you have difficult situations. Okay, and so one learning point I hope you take away from this is that if you have to argue, or if you have to talk loudly with your spouse, okay, try to take the argument outside, away from your child. And if you have in-laws or parents living with you, and sometimes the stress levels become a bit high, okay, I would say if you can, let it go, yeah, and try to keep the environment as calm or stable as you can, as you possibly humanly can in your situation. And if you really feel very strongly with conflicting parenting views or conflicting parenting styles and all that, then if possible, make plans to move out. If not, then let your bedroom be that prepared space. Okay, so outside of your bedroom is your parents or in-laws jurisdiction, so it's their house, their rules, right? But your room, your rules, your prepared space. So I think that is kind of a best compromise. And I know a lot of you will complain or will tell me that it's very hard, and I know it's very hard because there's always a power struggle, and your kids are smart. They will pick sides, and they will say they want to play with grandparents, they want to basically go with the side who wants to spoil them more, right? And of course, you as the mom will always be the bad person, because you want to make your child do work, you want your child to be good and do all the difficult things like no devices, no TV, etc. So naturally, we moms are always the bad person. But my encouragement to you is this: aim to make your room, or the prepared space, right, your room, the most fun place in the house that your child cannot resist but want to spend time with you. And how do you do that? It's not by giving in to every demand of the child, okay, but you give him your undivided attention. And over time, I am sure your child will choose you, the undivided attention, over a cold device. And for a start, you don't even have to make your child do work, okay? Don't take out a pen and paper or worksheets or whatever. If you're in that situation, what you want to do is to just play with your child, and be present with your child. Play games, play Uno, play card games, play Lego, play pretend, play dolls, whatever it is, every time you're playing with your child, you're giving your child that language input, right? So that is helping your child, that's teaching your child, that is your child is also learning a lot from you just from play alone. All right? Okay, so I hope that that encourages you a bit, and do send me a DM or anything if you want to talk more about this issue, okay? Because I know it's sensitive, and it's not a very pleasant one. Yeah. Okay. Second thing that you want to do is to take stock of the child's day-to-day schedule as well. So I spoke a bit about the routine part in the prepared environment yesterday. So if it's a schedule too packed, that it becomes a stress in itself, okay? So all kids, in fact everybody needs downtime, everybody needs time to relax. So if your child is having a very intense kind of lifestyle, class after class after class, and he has no time to play, no time to be bored, no time to wind down, then that's a stressor in itself, and you have to relook at his schedule and try to rejig it, okay? All right, the second thing that so the first point is to take care of the emotional climate of the home. Second point is to educate yourselves. Okay, as parents, we want to know what are the sensitive periods that every child, almost every child, will go through, and what is basically what is coming up for your child, so you can prepare and preempt yourself for it. So sensitive period is basically a Montessori concept, okay, but it applies to every kid, okay, whether or not they go to a Montessori school or not. So sensitive periods is a period of time where the child gets intensely interested in a certain skill or a certain what do you call that, developmental period or developmental skill, okay, and such that he gets almost obsessed with learning that thing until it peaks, and then it will just decline, and that moment will just pass. For example, language is a very common and widely agreed upon sensitive period, and language is from 0 to 6 years old. 0 to about 2 years old is the sensitive period for receptive language. That means the child is just absorbing everything he hears in the environment. Okay, some people may say that the language input must be of good quality, and there must be a certain amount. So anyway, whatever it is, we will do good if we keep speaking to the child in both English and your mother tongue. Okay, because 0 to 2 years old is that period, the sensitive period for your child to pick up languages almost effortlessly. It's just like when they're hearing words, they're hearing grammar structures, they're hearing vocabulary, and they just take it all in, and they can produce almost adult-like speech at about maybe 2 years old, 2 to 6 years old. So the 2 to 6 years old is the productive phase of the language, sensitive period for language. Okay, another sensitive period is the sensitive period to order that comes at about 0 to 3 years old, where the child is especially sensitive to things placed around the house. So if your environment is orderly, it's really good for a baby of that age. And then another sensitive period for math it starts only at 4 years old actually. So the sensitive period for maths starts at 4, and when a child is able to count, he's able to manipulate things, to add, to subtract, and later on at about 5 or 6 years old to multiply and divide. Okay, so sensitive periods, I actually have a freebie, a workbook that I will send along your way for the replay as well. Okay, so you can just take a look at it if you haven't printed it out. All right, and then yes, so when you know what is coming up, when you know, let's say your child's about 4 years old already, he is about to count, then you can start preparing more maths materials, because you know he is going to hit that age where he will be interested in maths. Same thing for phonics or language reading. Writing first. Writing happens at around 3 years old. And when I mean writing, it doesn't mean like write an essay or write a story. Okay, it just means he's interested in the shape of the letters, and he's asking you, what sound does this make, or what is this? Okay, what is this word? He is interested in letters and wanting to read. Wanting to read and copy the letters. Okay, so he may not copy very well. I think I had a question about copying of writing today. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I was in and out of Instagram today. I was really busy, so I wasn't able to reply a lot of you. But okay, so the question about writing, like her child cannot really write at 3 years old, should she force him or something, right? So my answer to her was don't force, okay? Because at 3 years old he's just copying. It doesn't even have to be like proper penmanship or proper strokes yet. As long as he's copying and is interested, you should be happy and you should encourage him more in that. Okay? Okay, the third thing is to be a coach. Okay, moms who mentor. This is my new hashtag, moms who mentor. Right, so the next thing is to just being open to the idea of being a mentor to your child. And I'm very passionate about this, because when we are mentors to our kids, it just opens up our role as a parent so much more, that we are no longer because when we talk about parents, right, I always think like we are talking down to the child, or we are taking care of a little baby and we are doing a lot of things for the baby. But this role actually ends very much at around 6-7 years old, when the child goes to primary school. And my two older kids are in primary school, so I feel this acutely, that I cannot mom them, I cannot parent them the same way I was parenting my baby anymore, or when I was doing this parenting them even 2 or 3 years back. The dynamics have suddenly changed. I need to become more of a friend. I need to and indulge in their primary school body jokes or fart jokes or poop jokes in order to connect with them. I need to be silly with them. I need to and be less judgmental and be less moralistic, or less scolding, like you should do this, you should not do that, you know, and try to teach from a different way. I can't even do stories anymore, stories with a moral. Yeah, those are seen through very easily by my older child right now. And she will just roll her eyes, or she will just like, mom, like, what are you talking about, you know? So but when we add the dimension of being a mentor into this parenting role, then it opens up a lot of possibilities, and it shows us, and it brings us along for a longer journey. Because as a mentor, we can be mentors to kids from 7 years old all the way to adulthood, if you realize, right? When we are mentors, we are walking alongside the child. We are asking questions, probing their thinking, probing them to, or guiding them to come to their own conclusions on their own. Maybe their conclusions are right, maybe they are wrong, but we will have to, at some point, we'll have to let go and let them learn lessons, or learn lessons through the hard knocks if they need to, right? And these things are things we increasingly cannot control. So this whole thing about control got to me one day when I was talking to my a friend, because she was saying that her friend is asking for advice. Her friend has a secondary school son, and she finds it so tough to parent him, because she has been controlling him since young, okay, and she basically operated like a tiger mom, and now she realizes that at secondary school it doesn't work anymore. She cannot force him to study, and he just wants to play computer games, and basically my friend was asking me like, what do I do, you know? And I looked at her and I'm like, I don't know. The only answer, or the only thing that you can do at this point, is really to let go. And in fact, the sooner we can let go of control of our kids, the faster they will learn to be independent, the faster they will mature, the faster they can make mistakes and fail, and the stakes are a lot lower when they are a lot younger. We can practice this skill of mentoring from the simplest of activities to the toughest of life lessons to teach, like patience and grit. So it just happened about 2 days ago. I was going to bring I forgot to bring the toy that Ariel was playing with. So basically it's a toy that it's those shape sorter kind of toy. So there was it's a house with like a few sides, okay, and then on each side there's a cutout of the numbers, okay. So she was holding this number 2, okay, she was holding this number 2 block, and then she was like, cannot fit, because she was only looking at one side. So I could have turned the toy, turn the block around and say, nah, the number 2 hole is here, go and put it inside, go and fit it in there. Then that would not be mentoring her through or guiding her through, okay. Instead, I asked her, oh, Ariel, you're only looking at one side of the house, are there other sides? Then this side, so she could actually see there were other sides, okay. Then I said, oh, how can you turn the toy around? Then yes, so she turned the toy around, and so she found the number 2, and she realizes, oh, okay, the next time she took number 3 and she can't find it at the side where it's facing her, then she knew how to turn it. So simple things like that, just by asking questions, just by guiding them guiding your child, you can guide your child to find out answers or to answer your questions, and then they realize that, oh, I'm so smart. I figured it out on my own. Okay, so you can use this technique as simple for a young child like that, or you can of course use these techniques for your older child who's going through some major decisions in his life. You're just basically asking him, what do you think you should do? How can you find out more about it? How would you want me to support you? And how can we or can you draw out the pros and cons of each decision, and then what does your heart say? What do you want most? That kind of thing. Okay, so there I wanted to tell you about this really inspiring story. Okay, there's this inner city school coach in the USA. If you know, the US schools there are two kinds of US schools. One are the public schools. They are usually less, they have government funding, but they are less well funded. And usually these public schools are located some are located not so much in the rich areas, right? So they are in the poorer inner city areas. Okay, and there's this chess coach, international chess coach, who was coaching a team at this inner city school. And the inner city school usually has a lot of the poorer kids, and most of these kids actually don't graduate. Okay, so but she managed to gather a team of international chess players from this school, and the thing is that she regularly is able to bring this chess team to the regional finals to compete against private school chess, private school chess clubs. Yeah, so it's a bit like the school where I was teaching at, competing against like RI or something. And the fact is and the thing is that these inner city school actually regularly wins the championships. So the researcher was very curious, and the chess club actually did really well. Like after the chess competitions and all that, these kids actually went on to study. They completed high school, and most of them made it to like a good college or something. Yeah, so the researcher was very curious about this lady, this chess coach methods. Like they were very curious, like what does she do to this chess team or with this chess team that enabled her to transmit values such as grit and perseverance and conscientiousness and being hardworking and persevering, because a lot of the times these kids would fail, right? These kids would lose the competition, but they would pick themselves up again and try again the next season, and they'll win. So this was fascinating for the researcher. And the interesting thing is, she never once had a lesson on grit or the importance of perseverance. All she did was to take a keen interest in these kids' lives and talk to them like a friend and be very authentic and non-judgmental. And one thing that she did with this chess team was that whenever they would lose a game, they would talk through the game in detail, and she would just ask them questions like, what would you have done next time? How did you feel when your opponent made this move? What was going through your mind? So she basically did like a post-game analysis with them and walked them through the entire process, and then asked them what would you have done? What would you do the next time? And then of course she'll do all her coach stuff, like teach them tactics and things like that. So the whole point is it's just walking. That's walking with them life on life, authentically like a friend, and that is the power of a mentor. So the whole idea of discipleship is something that we can use in our family, we can use with our kids. Because discipleship is just to show your children, to show your mentees, right, how it's done exactly with your life and with your example. It is a very intense and intensive relationship, and our kids are always looking for mentors, right? And if they don't find it in us, guess where they will find it? Outside. They will find it outside. And I see it in the secondary school kids. Those with stable families are less likely to go out and find and get attached themselves to these mentors outside, and if they meet a good mentor like a teacher or a religious leader, a good religious leader, a church leader, or a leader of a mosque or a youth organization, then that's good. Okay, that's good for them. But what if they meet somebody outside with bad agendas? Then that's always the danger, right? So we should strive to be our kids' first mentors anyway. Okay. Yes. So a mentor-mentee relationship has to be mutual, and that works really well for us because our children already at a young age, right? They already look up to us as role models, as mentors, and they worship us, right? So he's already open and accepting of everything that we want to teach him. So let's capitalize on that. Let's take hold of this opportunity, especially when they are young, and build this relationship, this open relationship, and this connection with our kids. Okay, my last point is not to micromanage. Don't micromanage or don't interrupt. Okay, this one is very popular when I first brought up this concept. Maybe I got a couple of seminars back. Okay, this just means that as a mentor, we don't want to keep criticizing or keep interrupting our kids when they are doing their work, because that absolutely breaks their focus and that does not encourage them to concentrate. Let me give an example. Okay, you ask your child to draw an elephant, and he picks up his pen, and just before he starts, and you say stop, how big are you going to draw the ears? This big. Okay, stop. This is not how you do it. Okay, your ears are too big, or your nose is too long, or your this is that, or yeah. So basically, if you keep interrupting them, if you keep discouraging them and telling them, oh, stop, this is wrong, let me show you a better way, then as an adult, right, even you yourself, you don't like to be micromanaged by your boss, right? Most of us don't like to. We like to be trusted to do the work, and after that we can be open to feedback. But when we are doing the work, when we are doing that task, we don't want somebody to keep helicoptering over us and telling us, don't do this, do that, turn left, turn right, etc. Yeah, so I think one of the things that we parents have to do is to learn how to hang back. First of all, don't offer suggestions on how the kids should do things. Just let them do it. After that, you can praise them for their work, or like commend them on their work. Like give them 5 good praises, okay, and then one area for improvement, or 1 or 2 areas for improvement. And also, like if we find that we are breaking our kids' focus too much, then they will not want to concentrate, because they will think, what's the point? So for example, I noticed that a lot of parents are busy people, right? You guys are busy, and sometimes when you are doing something, and after you finish your stuff and you realize that you have a free moment, and that's when you go and disturb your child. Actually, your child is fine. He's playing well on his own. He's playing his Legos and all that, and he's concentrating, and because you are free, you say, hey, come, let's go and read a book. Hey, let's do this, or let's play with something else. So when you do that, then you are not respecting your child's concentration, you're not respecting your child's work. So if you find your child happy, if you find your child concentrating on something already, even though you are free, don't interrupt him. Go grab yourself a coffee. When he's done with his stuff, he will come and look for you when he's lonely, when he wants company. Okay? Alright, so yes. Okay, I have one question here. I think she asked this, who is this? Jane, yes, Jane Tomato asked this on a Monday, and I said I would answer her today. So she says, my 4-year-old kid has been very impatient with puzzles and writing, and he gets frustrated when he gets corrected. So correct me if I'm wrong, okay, but I read this question as one in which maybe you are micromanaging a bit too much, or maybe you are correcting your child a bit too much. No one likes to be corrected when they are in the midst of an activity, so just try to observe and keep silent with how he how he does the puzzles. And if he really gets frustrated, it's okay. Don't help him. Okay, you can again employ some questioning techniques like, this piece doesn't fit, right? Do you think another piece would fit, or do you think if we rotate the piece around it might work? Why don't we try that? Things like that. So you give suggestions when he's looking to you for help, when he's clearly frustrated and he cannot deal anymore. If he's slightly frustrated, if he's like making grunting noises, okay, you can still hang back a bit and wait and see. Sometimes the kid figures it out, and then you will see the broadest smile on his face and the biggest satisfaction on him. Okay, and that is magical to witness, because you can see he realizes that he is able to do this on his own. He's able to overcome that frustration or that challenge and do it on his own. So that's amazing to watch, and I sincerely hope that you are able to witness that moment for yourself. Okay. So this is the question about writing at 4 years old. If you see there's I think there's a picture floating around the internet, okay, that 3 or 4 year old kids, that the x-rays, right, of their hands, the bones are not fused yet, whereas a 5 or 6 year old, it looks more like an adult hand with the x-ray. So all the bones are fused together, the muscles are connected, and the child can control the pen better. So 4 years old, his hand muscles may not be very developed yet, so he cannot hold a pencil very well. And pencils are hard, right, because you need to actually use strength to get to write with the lead. So motivation and interest at this point is more important than penmanship, than the strokes of the letters, than the shape of the letters even. As long as he's interested in writing and doodling, just encourage him to continue to do that. Okay, and of course, don't correct him, don't correct his spelling or his handwriting, and don't criticize. Okay, so take action. The last page of your workbook, okay, there's some reflection questions for you to move in the direction of being a parent mentor. So if you are new to us, sign up in the link in my bio if you haven't, and then the workbook will be sent to you. And then after you finish your work, you can snap a picture of your completed page, tag us at EleFunBox to get bonus entries to the contest. Contest will end on Saturday, okay, because I love rewarding people who do the work. Okay, let me just try to wrap up. I've gone long enough tonight. Let me just try to wrap up. What we've tried to cover, okay, over the 3 days is the transformation of a child. You'll notice that I didn't really talk about activities that help a child focus. I can, things like memory games and all that, and that is a separate post or a separate topic for another day. But I don't think that's the main point. I don't think activities are the main point. The main point is the transformation of a child. And what causes a child to transform is the environment and the parent. Okay? And focus is one of the most important first things we want to establish for your child, because motivation and focus, the two things, they are linked, right? Motivation is about the feeling of wanting to work at something. Focus is the ability to channel all your mental energies and to block out distractions. All right. With focus, then there can be learning and there can be practice. When the child practices, there's mastery. When there's mastery, there is self-confidence. When there's self-confidence, there is a positive self-concept called self-efficacy. Okay, this is a very, very important attitude or belief that we want to inculcate or imbue in our kids, because when a child has self-efficacy, it means that he believes he can. Even though there's a mountain in front of him, even though there are lots of things he doesn't know, even though he has no resources on hand, but if he believes he can, he will go find those resources, he will go and ask mentors, he will go and he will surmount all difficulties to accomplish that task, because he believes he can. Have you met adults or even kids or adults, right, who just have this negative self concept or negative self-efficacy? Like everything, once they hit a snag, right, they will realize like, cannot be done. Yeah, I cannot do it. I don't know how. I don't know, you help me. Yeah. And it's annoying, right? I don't know. Yeah, I tend to have less patience for these people, but yeah, I know it's not easy for some people because their backgrounds, okay, their backgrounds may have caused them to believe that they cannot. There are a lot of things that they cannot do, but we want to help our kids know that they can, and this is one process that we can help them achieve this self-efficacy. Okay, so what are your big rocks? The next steps will of course be to work through the environment and to work through yourself and develop yourself as your child's mentor, as your child's teacher. Okay, I've given you quite a bit in the workbook, and in this seminar, I think I've held nothing back. So I hope you've enjoyed the seminar as well. Okay, and your options, okay, I've given you plenty to work with. You can go at it alone, or we can do this together. Better, faster, funner, more fun. Okay, and in Elephant Tribe, okay, that's our precise goal. Okay, we continue to help you to work through these three areas of child, parent, and environment, and we want to help you to move your child from a pre-normalized state to a normalized state, and we want to give you a step-by-step structure so that you have clarity on what to do next for yourself, your child, and your home. Okay, so the whole idea is that you can have the joy and confidence of raising a child who is joyful, curious, independent, and compassionate, and you, the parent, has the skills, and you will learn the skills to support your child's development and to coach him or her on this journey, all the while building the connection with your child, which is that strong foundation that will serve you well in primary school, in secondary school, all the way to adulthood. Okay, and yes, in Elephant Tribe, I also show you how to teach your child the academic stuff. I didn't even go into the academic stuff of Montessori yet because I wanted to really lay the foundation of the triangle for you guys so that you will come into the membership and know that we're working through these steps, and part of these steps is the teaching part, especially in the second, third, and fourth rather. So this is the Elephant Tribe game plan. Okay, I call it a game plan because the ultimate is that we want to be a mentor, we want to be a coach, right? So game plan, get it? Yeah. So step one is that we want to help you become the scrupulous soul searcher. Yeah, soul searching, haha. Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so that's all about knowing yourself, okay, understanding yourself, understanding your triggers, and so that we can parent without blind spots. Yeah, and then and we will not blow up or have issues with our kids and cause us to blow up, and our kids wouldn't even know what hit them. Yeah, so we want to bring all these hidden things inside ourselves to the surface. Okay, that's the main goal for stage one, but also there are other things to do for the child and the environment, like resetting the environment and all that. Okay, stage two is about becoming a playful parent and a connected confidant, and this is really key because remember, our end goal is to become our child's mentor, right? Our child's more than a friend, yeah, not just a friend. It's like a friend who has wisdom, a friend who has walked life before and is able to give good advice. So we want to become our child's mentor, but this has to start with a strong foundation, a strong connection with the child. And so we cannot skip stage two, because if not, then we will just be moralizing, we'll just be speaking down to the child. Okay, so that's the whole aim of stage two. And then stage three is about the objective observer and the thoughtful teacher. This is where the Montessori academic stuff will come in, and I will give you everything you need to know to teach your child phonics, mathematics, science, what else? Sensorial, and practical life. And last stage is the stage for compassionate coach or mentor, which is when you will guide and support the child's endeavors more like a friend walking along beside him, and having your child, building in the soft skills for your child. Okay, so that's the game plan for Elephant Tribe. And if you do decide to join us, and I hope you do, because because we can do this together, and it's definitely more fun together and more encouraging because parenting is such a lonely journey, right? And with like-minded parents walking along beside you, encouraging you and being that accountability for you, then we will get moving a lot faster. Okay, so what you will get when you come in, if you decide to join us, okay, is that you will get access to training videos. Some of it is already ready. A lot of it is already ready. So you definitely can sink your teeth into them once you get into Elephant Tribe. But I just wanted to be honest and say that there are still some gaps here and there, and we will fill that up as we go along. Okay, there will be community, a Facebook community, and co-working sessions. So get support and crowdsource wisdom from like-minded parents and come together to do prep work together. Like so this co-working thing is something new. I suggested to the group and they seem to like it. So it hasn't really started. So when you join us, you'll probably be one of the first few co-working sessions. Basically, it's just an accountability time. We will all check in together at a certain time, and then we will just do our own stuff. You know, it's like an open, it's like a co-working office. Yeah, so we can be cutting printables, or we can be doing meal planning, or we can be decluttering an area. So you will, at the start of the co-working session, you'll tell me like, oh, I want to complete this today. And then then we will go off and do our own stuff. Then we'll come back at the end of the hour and just give an update so that we will do all this work, and then we are prepared for the next week or the next month. Okay, depending on how fast you are in teaching your child, or in preparing the environment, or whatever you need to do for your household. Okay. And also, I do give you, every month I give you a lesson idea and printable, a lesson pack and a set of printables. Okay, so these are ready to go lessons at your fingertips or at your printer, ready to print. So the whole point is to save you time from doing research or surfing lots of different things. Okay, and I will cover like 3 age groups: 0 to 2 years old, 2 to 4 years old, 4 to 6 years old, and 6 to 9 years old. Not all the ideas will have accompanying printables. Some I will try to get I will get free downloads from other bloggers who have already created those printables. So I don't like to do duplicate stuff. And I will just concentrate more on getting printables that you can't find elsewhere. Yeah, and a lot of it is mother tongue printables, and I'm very proud, I'm very happy to announce that I just added in Malay printables as well, because we started having some Malay members the last time, and I said, yes, I want to support you in your mother tongue journey as well. So I've gotten a designer, and she is helping me do the Malay printables. So we have Chinese printables, we have Malay printables as inside now. Okay. Individual hot seat coaching, I've changed that as well. This is new as well, because I used to have like monthly coaching sessions, okay, and that was so long because everybody would just wait around to ask one question, and it was long. And I know mummies have no time to sit for an hour to listen to me talk. Okay, so what we have changed it to individual hot seat coaching, which is so basically you submit your question, I prepare my answers, then we record on video. Okay, it's pre-recorded, it's not live, so we can edit stuff out that you don't want. It can be edited. Okay, so basically I will just give you action steps to solve your 3 biggest problems. So that is very individual, that applies to you, and this will be shared with the group, because in case others are also facing the same problem, you get to learn from one another. Yeah. Okay, and we also have monthly challenges, which is fun and motivating to build new habits together. So this month we just started a mother tongue challenge. Basically it's just very simple. Every day we'll check in, okay, and see whether you have read to your child in mother tongue, or talk to your child in mother tongue, or encourage your child to speak in mother tongue, or encourage your child to read mother tongue. Yeah, something like that. And then we have a little contest at the end. Okay, so these are all the good things and more that you can look forward to when you join us. This is the this is the link to go check it out. Okay, there's a info page, so you can go take a look if you're interested. HTTPS, all right, elephant.co/elephanttribe. The doors are open and will close on Sunday on the 16th of August. Okay, that is a fast action bonus of 48 hours so from today until today's Wednesday until Friday. Okay, I will offer a one-to-one 15-minute coaching call for you. Okay, and so I'll give you some quick steps that you can get started. And then after that, in 1 month later, I will check in on you again and we will do that hot seat where it's a lot more laser focused and get your questions answered even more in depth. Other questions? Curious Mama, love how you say that we can nurture self-motivated kids by taking on the role as a mentor. Letting go of kiasuism can be a journey. Absolutely, and I'm still on this journey as well. Okay, so I have 9 seconds and I don't have any more questions, so slide me a DM if you need me to answer questions, and I will see you sometime, maybe tomorrow. All right.